The Texas Tech men's basketball roster is almost complete, and in today's video, I'll give my way too early starting lineup prediction for the Red Raiders in year number 2 of Grant McCasland in the 2024-2025 season, as well as take a look at the roster overall and what Texas Tech should address with the 2 remaining scholarships moving forward. Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's RC Maxfield here for the Back to 12 podcast. If you haven't already, be sure to like the video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell to join the most interactive and the most, subscribed to Texas Tech YouTube channel right here on the Back to 12 podcast channel. Now, I do have a programming update for you. I know typically I give you a video on Texas Tech football, Texas Tech men's basketball, each and every day. However, I am headed on a cruise next week and we'll only have 3 videos on the channel. One will come out on Monday. Then we will have 2 Texas Tech football videos for you next week that will go out on the channel on Wednesday and Friday. And then, I'll be back after that. But just wanted to keep you all in the know and, try and keep you in the know while I'm gone as well. So again, like the video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell. All right, let's get into it in terms of the roster outlook for the Red Raiders. And I talked about this on a previous video here on the channel after JT Toppin committed, but this is kind of the lay of the land before we look at the roster and my way too early starting lineup for Texas Tech, okay? This is what we've got. 2 scholarships remaining, just mentioned that. I do expect Texas Tech to use one of those scholarships remaining on a big. I would expect it to be a younger big. That being said, multiple outlets, including Scarlet and Black Insider, other national outlets as well, are saying Texas Tech still does have money. And it makes sense. They were going to throw quite a bit of money at Jalen Wells. Maybe they try and go throw it at another big. Who knows? But I do expect them to try and get another big on this roster. At least maybe a taller wing, 6'8" and above when it comes down to it. Now, I think the biggest goal for Texas Tech is to be at least 11 deep because, again, I talked about it in other videos. The Big 12 is about to have a 20-game schedule. Yes, that's only 2 more than it's had previously, but there will be no buys. That's big. 2 games every week for 10 weeks straight before you go to Kansas City. Nuts. Just absolutely bonkers type stuff and already the toughest conference in America. All right. Let's look at the roster as of the time you're listening to this, hopefully, on May 31st. You would be listening to it on May 31st if you had those notifications on. But we got D5, we got Chance McMillian, JT Toppin, Kevin Overton, Federiko Federiko, Fede squared, I like to call him, Elijah Hawkins, Leon Horner, Christian Anderson. Leon Horner and Christian Anderson, the 2 freshmen in this roster for the Red Raiders. You got Kerwin Walton returning, Devan Cambridge, Eemeli Yalaho, and then the 2 walk-ons in Jack Francis and Jazz Henderson Jr. Again, 2 scholarships remaining for the Red Raiders. I do expect them to go after a big and try and really solidify the size in the front court. Now, JT Toppin obviously was a pivotal and monumental type commitment for the Red Raiders and a guy that transforms the front court, but you would like to see a little bit more experience and maybe go in there and add a veteran big, maybe a guy that's in his 3rd, 4th year of college basketball. And if you don't go that route, maybe you go the younger route and a guy that's raw and has a lot of really good skills in the toolbox, per se anyway, and you really develop him and have somebody that could potentially take over for Fede next season. So I know why y'all are here. Y'all want to hear my way too early starting lineup prediction, and I think it's a good one. We'll talk through it here. You can see it at the bottom of your screen right now. Most of these are obvious. I think really when it comes down to it, for me, this starting lineup has 4 obvious ones, and I think McMillian is one of them. And we're going to start with Elijah Hawkins at the point guard. That's an obvious one. I think Chance McMillian starts. I think that right now today, that's how I feel. That will be subject to change. I think you could go either way with Kevin Overton, but I think Chance McMillian will earn the right and really has earned the right to be the starting 2 guard for the Red Raiders in year number 2 of Grant McCasland. Then you move on to the 2 more obvious ones. D5, duh. JT Toppin, duh. The one that might surprise you, though, is Fede at the center spot. I think you start Federiko Federiko alongside JT Toppin next year. And the reason being is this. You've got the aforementioned Elijah Hawkins, who is a really good passer, arguably the best returning passer in all of college basketball. Think about this. He had more assists last year than field goal attempts. Like, what are we doing here? You know, crazy type stuff. And field goals made, excuse me. You've got Chance McMillian, okay, a guy that shoots the lights out of the ball. Darrion Williams, a guy that shoots the lights out of the ball. But the reason I'm going back to Elijah Hawkins here is because of the pick and roll aspect of things. And having JT Toppin and Federiko Federiko on the floor at the same time may be counterintuitive to some people, but I think JT Toppin's going to play a lot more than people think on the outside next year in terms of developing his shot. Is he going to shoot, 5 threes per game? No, but it would not shock me at all if we're talking about 2, maybe 2.3 when it's all said and done in the average. There's going to be a lot of space. Now, he's not going to be out of the pick and roll game, but I think the spacing aspect of things with Fede and Toppin won't be a problem. In fact, I actually like it quite a bit in the sense of you can run bull, and most people call it horns. We called it bull in high school, where you run 2 picks. So you got the point guard in the middle, you got a pick on the right, left, and he gets to choose which way he wants to go. Okay. That's going to be nice when you have guys like Chance McMillian, who shoots north of 40% from 3 and even 45% from the corner. Then you've got Darrion Williams, who shoots 40+% from the corner as well. That would be the action you would have. And that's why I think this is the most likely starting lineup as of today. Now, Texas Tech could go out and, add another center like we had talked about. Nothing for sure right now. But I think when you look at the current lineup construction in terms of what makes the most sense for Texas Tech, this lineup makes the most sense, in my opinion, for the starting lineup going into 2024-2025 as the roster stands today on May 31st. And yes, I understand it's way too early. It's a fun exercise, though, because this lineup and this roster is a lot of fun. I don't know the last time I was excited about a Texas Tech roster like I am this one, because there's a lot of guys on here that I think complement each other really, really well. And the guy that is going to make this thing go is Elijah Hawkins. I mean, I could not be more excited about him being the lead guard for the Red Raiders in year number 2 of Grant McCasland. Now, I'd be remiss to talk about the guys, not to talk about the guys on the bench, And Devan Cambridge, Kevin Overton, mentioned him already, Kerwin Walton, Christian Anderson, and Eemeli Yalaho. You're 10 deep there. I think Yalaho takes a step forward. I think Anderson is a viable backup guard in terms of the primary ball handler position. You know what Kerwin Walton can do. He's got an absolute sniper from the outside. There's no bigger fan in Red Raider Nation of Kevin Overton than me. Hop on the hype train, ladies and gentlemen. I think he's going to be an absolute stud for the Red Raiders. And then you get a guy like Devan Cambridge back, who showed flashes last year, albeit in non-con, before suffering a season-ending knee injury. He's coming back, and he's going to be arguably your best defender. And that's saying something when you've got a guy in JT Toppin who will almost average 2 blocks per game, a guy in Federiko Federiko who was one of the best block artists in the ACC last year. You're going to have a lot more length. You're going to be more athletic. You're going to be a lot more switchable. And that is exactly what the Red Raiders need. And right now, as it stands, again, that's my way too early starting lineup for the Red Raiders in terms of a prediction. But you've got options. Like, would it shock me if Devan Cambridge started for the Red Raiders next year? Absolutely not. Kevin Overton? Absolutely not. Even Kerwin Walton? Absolutely not, right? So you have 8 guys that could start. I think you have 4 guys, in my opinion, that should be automatic locks, and I'm including Chance McMillian in there. But it's going to be very interesting, because it would not shock me at all if Kevin Overton does start for Chance McMillian, and Chance McMillian comes off the bench and plays, 30-plus minutes a game like he was, it felt like, every night, and just as that automatic microwave-type scorer off the bench for the Red Raiders. Again, you see it at the bottom of your screen. If you want to let me know yours down in the comments below. If I'm out of pocket, let me know down in the comments. Again, a quick programming note before we head out of here. We'll only have 3 videos on the channel next week, as I will be out on vacation on a cruise. Shout out to my brother-in-law, who's graduating from high school and actually going to Texas Tech in the fall. So shout out to Jack on that front, celebrating him on the cruise. But if you want to stay in the know on Texas Tech men's basketball all year long, there is no offseason here. We don't say that word. Shout out to Pate State. Off-season doesn't exist here on the Back to 12 podcast channel. So if you want to join the most engaging and largest group of Texas Tech fans on YouTube, do these 3 simple steps. Like the video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell to stay in the know on all things Texas Tech men's basketball all year long right here on the Back to 12 podcast channel.